Continuing, what if Naruto had an OP Ice Kekkei Genkai? And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Um, Naruto, after they basically clear Itachi's name, and the Akatsuki find out the everybody that's in the Akatsuki that are in there for actual heinous crimes that they forcefully had to commit or something like that. They're kind of looking at Sasuke, not Sasuke, Itachi a little differently, but of course there are only so many people in the Akatsuki that can stand up to Itachi. And Pain, even though thinking about it, yeah, Itachi could be a double agent, but he's not willing to risk somebody as strong as Itachi flipping sides again. He's not willing to risk that with the current standing of power between the people. Right? This is already made like the almost the retrieval of the one tail is close to near impossible. And yeah, so he's not trying to take no chances. So he kind of like calms everybody down, and he telling them like, even if Itachi, let's say he did, like who's strong enough here to actually affect them. And Kisame, because Kisame is actually there. Itachi's not, but Kisame stands up and he's like, I don't know about y'all, but Itachi is strong, and unless y'all can actually defeat him, don't bring this issue back up to my face. And he like walks out the room. And of course, a few of the other members there get mad, but there's not really too much they can do right now, right? Because as far as they're aware, Kisame is still in Itachi's good graces, and Itachi, after those 3 months, has been a lot more active than what he was before all of this, right? So yeah, they kind of just let it be for right now. Of course, Conan is still looking at everybody, and they still got black sets of spying and shit. So instead of them figuring out some of the lease plans and everybody else, they kind of had to devote some of their spy network inward to see what the fuck Itachi was doing, and they barely got to see that. But that's not the point right now. So yeah, that's happening. Um, Everybody kind of starts putting two and two together. Like maybe if the Uchiha massacre wasn't a thing or something like that, the Nine Tails wouldn't be a thing. But um other people, they don't really care about that because the Nine Tails still itself, came out. That's not what it was about. It was about clearing Itachi's name, which a lot of other people in the Leaf Village bring up too. It's just the conversations in the Leaf Village at this point. Right? So some people are still, now everybody's trying to look at the Nine Tails situation to just see if it was like another Donzo situation or was somebody actually controlling it. And after a while, shit does surface that the Nine Tails is being controlled at some point during that night. Now, of course, this shocks everybody, but since nobody really knows where the Nine Tails is right now currently, except for a few people, they kind of just like start randomly apologizing to people. Like people that they would think that had the Nine Tails. So some people with anger issues. So like at one point, they were all sitting down, Naruto and his friend group, and some random ass person walked up to Sakura, because Sakura's angry and moody and shit, and just apologizes for them making fun of her. She was the Nine Tails. And they're kind of like, Naruto just starts laughing, because you got to think, although Naruto didn't get hit by any of that backlash, it still hurt to be talked down to by people you never even seen, and they've never seen you. But the Nine Tails this, the Nine Tails that, Nine Tails this, there, this, that, and the third. That's horrible. So dude, like Naruto in his mind, he's just happy that that the people not blaming him for what the Nine Tails did anymore. But now it's like the Uchiha control the Nine Tails. So now everybody looking at Sasuke like, we feel bad that your family died, but if y'all can control Tail Beast, and yeah, so now it's just a rabbit hole. I also haven't been recording because my allergies are acting up. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. Um, so yeah. Meanwhile, with Naruto and everybody else, they go right back out to trying to find Orochimaru right after finishing up that stuff with Danzo. And like on their way, I want to say to like the lab one of Orochimaru's hideouts, they end up coming across one of his like we're gonna say, I don't know, one like his right hand man. Like they had word that they were coming to the little hideout, so they were tasked with cleaning it out before they got there. They were moving a little too slow. So when Naruto and them got there, Sasuke instantly put him underneath a genjutsu. He needs all the information, right? And everybody else that was there, that's raps. Pack it up. You gotta go, right? So This obviously gets back to Orochimaru because Orochimaru got seals and curse marks on damn near everybody that works for him. So of course it gets back to him in some manner of the word, and he's understandably pissed. And Pain and all the Akatsuki members still inside of this meeting type thing. They ask him, what's going on, because they clearly see like his little hologram thing, just flinched a little bit or whatever, lost focus, and he's like, it's a problem that I got to deal with. And Pain tell him like, no, like tell me as your leader. I'm telling you right now to tell me. And Orochimaru was like, uh, Naruto, Sasuke, and a bunch of friends decided that they were going to try to come and find me. So they just attacked one of my old hideouts. So he trying to downplay it a little bit, but in all reality, that was one of Orochimaru's most secretive bases, and he's kind of confused as to how they knew about it. Like, not even most of the not the most of the Akatsuki don't even know where that base is. Like, the only two people that have really met him in that base, and he's thinking about it, but he's talking out loud. So he's like, the only other two people that have met me in that base, and he's like it was Pain, Conan, and he's like, I've seen the occasional crow. Oh fuck, Itachi knew, right? And at this point in time, this kind of just context clues. So they kind of try to put it together. But Pain tells them they're gonna need more information to go off that, with Itachi being one of their best members currently, right? And this kind of pisses Hidan off, and he gets up and he's like, how is he one of the best members and he ain't even in the meeting? And I want to say Kakazu, his partner. I want to say that's his partner's name. He pulls him, like, they tell him to sit back down and tell him because the meeting's about him. Like, why would we put him in the meeting about himself? Anyway, yeah. So Pain tells him, he gonna send some diva paths that way. He gonna send some paths of Pain that way. And Orochimaru thanks him for the help, obviously. And of course, like he said, he sends the animal summoning path and the one that shoots rockets and shit, and the one that can absorb chakra over to Orochimaru's little advanced squad and Orochimaru himself to finish off and capture Naruto's team and friends and all the other hot gas, right? But of course, as everybody can see, the giant fucking bird flying in on them, they tell Naruto activates his little kekkei genkai, and the diva, the fucking, I'm gonna just call him the munitions guy, the fucking one of the one that shoots rockets sees Naruto activating his ability, and instantly, like, he opens up his arms and just starts firing everything that he can at the last known location, because it's hard to sense stuff outside and inside of Naruto's stuff, right? And as those missiles go down, they hit, and because the mist is moving and shit, it moves and it dissipates, and they see like there's no like bodies and nothing. Anyway, Naruto's perspective, he activates his stuff, and as the missiles is coming down, he basically waits till they get just into his little mist, and he just throws little ice shards at him. Because in retrospect, the explosion, it's still going to explode, but it's not going to do nearly as much damage as it's supposed to because it's surrounded by cold. So even when it does explode, it's not exploding to its full power. Right? So not everybody was extremely injured by, this attack. So this obviously, shocks just about anybody that could see the fact that the Pain just launched almost all of its rockets. And dude's like, I need a hot second to replenish those. And he just, he didn't even look like he ate them. They're just gone. Where'd they go? They're not even craters left. We saw them explode. Right? And, they get to the ground and they summon out the dogs and do the summoning animal path summons out the dogs and stuff. And Sasuke, he tucks a few fireballs ahead of him, and they see that one path absorb like two of the fireballs and just tanks the other one because he can't absorb all that too much, right? So he absorbs that and then tanks the attack from the other one, leaving him kind of not out of the fight but damaged. Like, now he can barely move type, right? So the animal path is kind of like just sitting right next to him because why not? And the rocket dude is kind of like just trying to get closer to shoot rockets. So as he's kind of like running up, he opens his wrist up, and all you hear is like lightning, and a fucking like a streak appears like across across the battlefield. I keep saying across. And dude's like arm just goes missing, And when you like when they see like where who it was Kakashi, right? And Kakashi's like, I'm not letting that happen again, right? And he goes back for another cut, but the one of the animals like that the animal path summoned hits him away, and that just resulted in this rocket dude getting did dirty. So after Kakashi get knocked away, the other animal, he begins to chase after Kakashi and try to like maul him up. That don't go well neither. But we don't get into that. So dude, he gets back up and he tries to open up his other arm, but it freezes. Naruto is getting closer to him now, and as it freezes, he gets kicked by Lee because Lee is in the group, and yeah, so he gets kicked by Lee, and as he get kicked, he flies back and into a spike that Naruto threw ahead of him. Right. So as he's flying through the sky, he sees this huge shard of ice. He hears it hit the ground, and then he like impacts on it. So this animal path is like, look, just watch dude get impaled by this piece of ice. So now he's basically out of the fight. Like there's no real way for them to get him back. So then, the animal path actually starts considering leaving, but then he remembers, oh, one of my animals is supposed to be mauling Kakashi. So he looks over, and lo and behold, Kakashi is treating the like his sword like a baton, basically with lightning coating it and just shocking out the dog. Like it can't necessarily get too close without it getting shocked. So yeah, so he's like, all right, look, we're done. We're done. So he tries to grab the path that absorbs chakra and get back on the bird. But as they're doing that, Naruto sees it. And of course, the only real people that haven't done anything as of right now was Hinata, Neji, Sakura, Ino. I want to say, yeah, all of them, all of them. It's basically like Naruto whole class damn near. Just a few people missing. Right, so Ino uses her mind transfer jutsu on one of Orochimaru's weaker ninja and end up pulling the path that absorbs chakra off the bird before the bird takes off. Right, so at this point in time, the bird is now flying away. Right, and like the other path of pain can see this animal summon path, so he tries to summon a dog to at least grab the path because finding a body, finding one body is okay. Finding two, that's hard. Like, they gotta be compatible and all this other extra hot gas, and he don't feel like doing all of that. Right? So he sends one of his dogs down there to go get it. But as like the dog approaches, he sees like the mist. Like at this point in time, nobody has really seen Naruto. All Naruto has done was just stop everybody from seeing his friends. That's it. And impel the rocket pain. Impel the rocket pain. I will admit that. Anyway, yeah, so as like the dog falls from the sky, Haku, been training for a hot minute. So his mirrors basically, like the way that the dog is falling, he basically just matched like the dog's speed and just starts throwing Sinbon all throughout the dog through the mirrors, right? And the pain is like, how? I haven't. What is that? What are you doing? Right? And at some point in the time, the dog tried to bite one of the mirrors, and it does. It breaks the mirror, therefore canceling the jutsu up to that extent because he was already overextending it by making it go, and he had to make just a whole bunch of extra stuff. So he broke one of the mirrors, canceled out the jutsu, and as he wasn't falling. Yeah, as I forgot his name. Ooh, as Haku was falling, he gets grabbed by Naruto, and he wasn't necessarily too high off the ground at this point. He get grabbed by Naruto because they're basically like uh fucking peanut butter and jelly at this point. You can't find one without the other. So he catches Haku. They land and they see the dog because the dog is still coming down, right? So when it lands, it grabs the pain and starts like trying to dip off. And Naruto, thinking about it, he stops his mist from activating and he taps his foot on the floor, and the whole like floor for a decent while just turns like strictly into ice, coated everything, from the trees to the rocks to people's shoes, the whole 9 yards, right? So the dog goes from running normally to slipping and sliding, and it collides into like a bunch of trees which are frozen solid, so it's more like a wall. So the other path comes back, the animal path to just, with the bird to just try to grab the dog because this is just too much. Like, what's going on? Not thinking that Naruto's ice could just be more, than just covering the ground. So as he gets closer to the ground, he gets closer, and he like, yeah, I get this bad feeling. And as he goes to grab the dog, all the ice on the ground kind of like just starts pop, like spikes just start popping up out the ground, right? And Naruto, he get like his nose start bleeding. He's like, oh, that's not like he doesn't know, right? But Haku can see it. Haku can see Naruto's nose bleeding. And Naruto flicks his fingers up, and all the spikes fly into the sky, basically shredding the bird and the path and the dog and the other path, making it to where Pain now has to go get 3 bodies, and they still have to fight Orochimaru. Meanwhile, Naruto, right after doing that, fucking collapses. So Haku basically grabs Naruto and tries to get Naruto off the battlefield, and Orochimaru, seeing his chance, he's like, oh yes, this is perfect. So he tries to run over there to grab Naruto, but as he's like trying to make his way over there, Kakashi gets in front of him, and he pulls out a sword and he activates his lightning blade, and he's like, so I want my rematch, right? And this pisses Orochimaru off because he's like, fuck, Naruto's like, not only is he right there, but he's unconscious. This would be perfect timing, right? So meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, Pain is fucking furious, so he sends Konan out to see if Konan can't get Naruto, even though he just sent 3 Pains out that couldn't get Naruto. So he was like, fuck it, go see if you can get him, right? And, Konan being her, after seeing all the, like, distress that it put Nagato Pain in, she would want to do something about it anyway, so she was eagerly ready to agree with it. But after Pain sent her on that mission, he realized, like, that was not a good idea, so he tries to catch up to her. But given the fact that Konan got wings and stuff, he's not catching up, right? So, anyway, Orochimaru and Kakashi's fight basically goes, not bad. Like they're like at this point in time, since Orochimaru hasn't been able to find a body to transfer into, and Kakashi has done nothing but train with a sword in his hand and his one arm, Kakashi's giving that man the business. Okay, the only reason why that man Orochimaru was not dead yet is because he has all those tricks and snakes and shit up his sleeve. Let's be honest here. He hasn't had the chance to get into a new host, and like as he's thinking about it, he gets stabbed in the chest, and he's like, that's it. I gotta change. Like, who am I? As he's looking around, he see like he see the dude that pulled the other Pain off the bird, and at this point in time, Ino is no longer inside of dude's body, right? So he, goes and tries to, transfer over to him, and it kind of works. Like, he's in dude's mind, but at this point in time, he's still messed up from the fact that Ino was just in this shit. So it's like, as he's in it, Sasuke puts the dude in a genjutsu, kind of realizing what's going on, because he can see the curse mark, like, activating on dude's neck. So he puts dude underneath a genjutsu, and he sees Orochimaru inside of dude's mind, and he instantly uses a fireball jutsu to burn the dude. And at this point in time, everybody kind of looking at him like, bro, he was writhing in agony. What did you do? Like, why did you kill him? Right? And like everybody, Sasuke tell him like, don't worry about it for right now. We could discuss that after the fight over with. Right? And obviously after everybody see that Orochimaru damn near fucking died, and well, basically he is dead. He's stuck in his little limbo thing. He's gotta find a body real right fast. Give him a time limit. I don't necessarily know how that jutsu works, so yeah, say he got like a day or two. But like as his men are trying to scatter, they're obviously getting picked off. And after a while, everybody kind of noticed they can't necessarily sense Naruto, and they can't see his ability. So obviously something happened. So they go over and they see Naruto is basically just laid out like Haku and not Tsunade, Sakura and Hinata, like basically trying to make sure this dude is okay. Like, are you still breathing? And yeah, he just got a nosebleed, right? And after a while, they hear like a voice overhead, and Konan, like they look up and they see Konan, and Kakashi's like, fuck, I just wasted nearly all of my chakra fighting Orochimaru, right? And he look at Sasuke, and Sasuke, he looked like he could take her. Like he know he can, but he know Sasuke can't take her all by himself. Like, because Konan's a very experienced fighter, and not only that, she's airborne. That's a difficult target always, right? So they like kind of begin their fight, and it's basically everybody just dodging fucking Conan's hail of papers that she loves to throw at people, right? And at some point in time, Haku gets the brilliant idea to use his ice mirrors, because of course it's part of Haku's fighting style. She's using her kekkei genkai, why not use mine, right? And as he's using them, she gets pissed because she's heard about Naruto and Haku's like little joint practices and all this other extra stuff. So she activates her papers and she throws it down, breaking the mirror. And this whole time, Naruto is just incapacitated, laying mere feet away, like mere inches away from this fight, right? And at one point, Conan tries to grab Naruto, wrapping him in papers, but Kakashi comes and cuts it open and then tries to cut her, right? And Lee, like, she blocks Naruto's, like, not Naruto's, Kakashi's blade, and then Lee comes and kicks her, and Guy trying to, like, kicks her further back. Like, just gets double kicked because, she tried to grab Naruto. And yeah, so my bad. My allergies are kind of making me have to pause the video and stop mid sentence. Yeah, but yeah, she gets kicked away. She recovers herself, and meanwhile, on the other, like maybe a few miles or kilometers, depending on where you live, away, Pain is like desperately trying to get somebody to go get Conan, right? And as all of this is happening, Naruto is still laid out, and only Naruto only wakes up after he hears, like, because of course not a lot of people can get into this fight. Remember, a lot of people are just dodging. There's only so many of them that can fight her at one time, given the fact that she's airborne. So you know Hinata and Sakura try to like come up with the idea that since she's throwing shit down at them, let's take this you know let's grab Naruto and move him into some shelter, maybe into some trees or whatever, right? So they grab him. I should probably mention by this point there is no more ice on the floor because Naruto was incapacitated. So once he got knocked out, his ability to like his ice melted away. So yeah, they run out there and they try to grab Naruto, and as they're like pulling him over like to where they were, like underneath this like arch of a rock type thing, um Conan sees this and she thrusts her hand out and launches like this real like sharp piece of paper, because that's her ability, at Sakura. And it basically goes through her arm that was holding up parts of Naruto. She's stuck where she is because there's a piece of paper the size of maybe a small telephone pole going through her arm, right? Not not like width size, I mean like length, like how high it is, whatever, yeah. So she still has most of her arm. She just can't move it because it's stuck. And yeah, right. So she starts basically fucking panicking, right, screaming and shit. And out of panic, of course, she does that typical Naruto, and literally on cue, the note, like the blood around his nose, like that was coming out of his nose and like that dripped over to his mouth, kind of freeze, like just instantly freezes, and everything that was going on kind of goes like white. Like, this isn't everybody that is currently like there. They know like Naruto just woke up. This is clearly something to do with his kekkei genkai, but this is not the way that it's supposed to be, right? Instead of it looking like an ice rink with like some light snowfall and or so like clouds covering it or ice clouds covering it, it literally looks like they just stepped into a fucking blizzard, right? And um Sakura goes from like screaming to like she's not screaming anymore. So Kakashi's fucking panicking because for all he know, that could mean that Conan killed Sakura, right? So he goes over there and he ends up finding out that Sakura is just sitting there, ice surrounding, not like yeah, just ice kind of like surrounding the whole thing, so where she can't bleed out anymore. And Kakashi's like, are you good? And she's like, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know what the fuck happened to Naruto though, right? And he's like, fuck. And he's looking around and he really cannot sense or feel anybody. Like, the only reason why he was able to get to Sakura and Hinata was because Sakura was screaming. Currently, he can't sense anything. And in his mind, he's like, what the fuck? I thought we had a cap on his ability. And now he's out here making it impossible for you to do anything, right? Meanwhile, Naruto is he is livid. Obviously, his team is getting fucked up. He got knocked out, overused his powers, some more shit. Nine Tails is like, hey, take this. And he was like, okay. You know, so that's what we're at now. This is not only Naruto, this is the Nine Tails involving himself with Naruto. So the Blizzard stuff is coming from the Nine Tails affinity for wind. Right? So after a while, this throws Conan for a loop. But this is where I'm in this part off. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi.